Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto, and our journey through the history of Formula One continues today with the fifth round of the 1950 season, the Belgian Grand Prix. The race was held on the 18th of May, and there were only 14 entries, all of which took part in the race, but only 10 crossed the finish line. The race consisted of 35 laps, which were completed in 2 hours 46 minutes and 26 seconds. The grid lineup was Farina in pole, Fangio second, Fagioli third, Villoresi fourth, and Raymond Sommet fifth. Fangio won the race, Fagioli crossed the line in second just 14 seconds later, Rosier finished in third 2 minutes and 19 seconds behind, Farina was fourth 4 minutes and 5 seconds adrift, and Ascari crossed the line in fifth and was 1 lap behind. And that was a very brief look at the 1950 Belgian Grand Prix. Now onto the circuit map. There's very little in common between this layout and its modern counterpart. For one, it's twice as long compared to today, it's much faster paced with a lot of open corners. The start-finish line is situated after the hairpin. I believe GT uses this side for its start-finish line as well. Anyway, we come down the hill, then up through Eau Rouge, which is virtually the same. We then come through Raidillon, then on to the Camel Straight. Next we have Le Combe, and it's here where the modern circuit separates from the historic one, with the modern one turning right and the historic one continuing on to the left. We then come into Malmedy, an interesting chicane-like corner. You can go nearly flat out through here. From there we go on to the Masta Straight, and eventually through the Masta Kink. Then we have Stavelot, an interesting right-hander that tightens towards the end. Next is La Carrière, a flat-out right-hander. Then we eventually rejoin with the modern circuit just before Blanchemont. From there we have a quick sprint up into La Source, then back down again to finish the lap. Coming out of La Source to complete the first qualifying lap with a time of 4:04.6, not the fastest lap in the world. There's definitely room for improvement, and I'm hoping to find a bit more speed around the track as we start this second qualifying lap. I will try to get as high as possible. And now coming into the source 1 on the second qualifying lap, I downshift way too early, causing my rear wheels to spin and losing control of the car. I still haven't gotten used to the lower RPM range, and here we are for the grid walk. We have Nino Farina in pole, Juan Manuel Fangio is second, Louis Rosier is third, Luigi Fagioli fourth, with Felice Bonetto rounding up the top 5. Prince Bira is sixth, Peter Whitehead seventh, Rick Parnell is eighth, Cabantu is ninth. Our guy Andy Higgs is up in 10th, his best starting position yet. Serafini is 11th, Manzol 12th, 13th is Ascari, Chiron 14th. Next we have Sommer in 15th, Cuff Harrison, the second ERA driver, is down in 16th, Felipe Tancelini 17th, David Hampshire 18th, Jeff Crossley 19th, Joe Kelly 20th, Chabot 21st, and Harry Schell is down in 22nd, unfortunately for him. So, yeah, here we are at the Belgian Grand Prix, and I forgot to mention this in the previous video, but I've turned off fuel consumption and tire wear. If you can remember from the Indianapolis 500, a lot of the AI kind of retired when they went into the pits, and I guessed it actually right. It was because there's some sort of either a bug or it isn't. The pit stops aren't quite implemented correctly yet. So no pit stops for us either, because I kind of want to race against something. I don't want to be given any positions because of the AI retiring. Anyway, we move up into 7th already on this first lap of the race. We are chasing after Alberto Ascari, who is around 1 second in front of us. Prince Bira is right behind us. And here is a replay of the start as we come down into Eau Rouge. Quite an interesting starting position. You have to actually stay on the brakes to prevent the car from rolling down the hill. An interesting thing to, well, quite interesting. You don't really do that anymore today. Well, I guess you would in GT, since you use the same side of the track to start the race. Anyway, we made up a couple of positions, and we now pass Louis Rosier to take fifth. And next up will be Rec Parnell, who is some 6 seconds up the road. So we have quite a lot of catching up to do. I'm really excited. I really like this circuit almost as much as I like the modern version of it. And here we have Jeffrey Crossley, who retires from the race on this very first lap. We see him in the Alta. He slams into the fence there at the side of the road, spins the car around, and the AI then kind of messes up its pathfinding, I guess, and that's kind of it for Crossley, unfortunately. Anyway, we are now still chasing after Rec Parnell. He's now some 4 seconds up the road, and now coming around to finish the first lap. We catch up to the guys ahead, and now coming out of La Source, I shift up into second gear. For some reason, I get a lot of power, and my rear wheels spin, and on I lose balance. The car loses its balance and spins around, and Prince Bira takes fifth place from us. So we'll try to catch him as soon as possible, and we do that almost immediately. So we're back up in fifth, but I come a bit too fast into this left-hander, and Prince Bira manages to take fifth away from us again. So I need to be a bit more careful here. A bit later on, I catch up to Bira once again, and we are back up in the points, which is very nice. Now let's try to catch up to Rec Parnell and the rest of the gang, who are nearly 14 seconds even up the road. So it's probably going to take a few laps here. And here we are on lap 4. We catch up to Rec Parnell and we pass him, so we are now up in 4th. Next is Fagioli, some 1 second in front of us. And we have a replay here of one of the French cars, not entirely sure which one, losing control of the car and retiring from the race. So we are still chasing after Fagioli. We are in position to make a move and flick the car to the left there, and we're up in third. This would be a podium position if it were, I guess, late 70s, 80s, or early 80s. Anyway, next is Juan Manuel Fangio, who is right in front of us, and as we come into La Source, we overtake Fangio, brake hard for the hairpin, and make sure we don't lose control of the car again. Now let's try and catch up to Farina if we somehow can. I'm actually quite surprised that we are racing with the Alfa Romeos. I mean, come on, the ERA was not that good of a car. And we actually overtake Nino Farina to take the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix in 1950. This is absolutely amazing. Who would have thought? I have no idea where the ERA gets all this power. I know it's turbocharged, but it's still just a 1.5 liter engine racing against a 12-cylinder 3 liter engine. So yeah, somehow the ERA is really fast. And here we have Philippe Tancelin in the French car, in the Talbot losing control of the car, crashing into the Armco and losing its front right wheel. And now we have Eugène Chabot, who crashes into the fence, and after this he retired for some reason, although as we can see in the replay he didn't really have to. Anyway, we are very close to the end of the race now, so and some 22.5 seconds ahead of Felice Bonetto, who actually didn't compete in the race. And here we are coming into Les Sources for one final time. We are in first place, about to take the win here. We have very little fuel there, less than a lap of fuel left, about 4 liters of fuel. That's very fortunate of us that we actually managed to finish the race. And here are the results. As you can see, we are in first place. Farino takes second, Fangio is third, Luigi Fagioli fourth, and Rosier was fifth. And here are the retirements on the left, and on the right we can see everyone who didn't actually take part in the race, which are quite a few people there. Yeah, that was a very nice race, and this is, I guess we could say that this is our first official win of the season since, come on, seriously, uh, the Indianapolis 500 was, well, we just been given the win on a platter, seriously. If you can remember back to that race, I think Ascari was the last retirement, and he retired like 10 or 12 laps before the end of the race. So yeah, that wasn't really a win. This is our first official win. This is Andy's first real win in his career, so it's quite pleasing to do it, especially in such a weak car. As much as I like the ERA, it looks very beautiful. It wasn't a very good car. Anyway, now for the statistics. Andy has entered 5 Grand Prix. His best start is from 10th, best finish 1st, has 2 wins, a total of 25 points, 1 retirement, has completed 139 out of the 153 total laps, and finally he has 2 bronze trophies, 2 gold trophies, and as an extension 2 podiums. Not bad for a rookie driver. As of this race, we've started dropping points represented by the grey boxes. And as you can see, we've got rid of our retirement from the Swiss Grand Prix. And in fact, no one loses any points because there were quite a lot of retirements, especially this race where there weren't a lot of participants. Fangio and Fagioli finally score points, but they are still far off from their real life results in 1950. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the Belgian Grand Prix. It was quite an interesting race, and we finally managed to win a race properly with, well, cars on the track, unlike in Indianapolis where the win was pretty much handed over to us when everyone retired from the race just 10 or 12 laps before the end. So, yeah. Anyway, our next race is the French Grand Prix at Reims, I think it's pronounced. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are as well. So until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to vote for next season's team. Link in the description box below this video. And as always, stay sharp.